The Celts, a people of warriors, artists, and mystics, inhabited much of Europe during the Iron Age, leaving a deep mark on the culture, art, and history of the continent. Although its existence dates back more than 2,000 years, its heritage continues to be a source of fascination for historians, archaeologists, and admirers of ancient traditions. Throughout this story, we will explore the highlights of Celtic civilization, its expansion, its beliefs, and how its culture is still alive today. The Celtic people began to develop in the region we now know as Central Europe around the 8th century BC. Their exact origin remains uncertain, but they are known to have spread rapidly into northern and western Europe, reaching places as far away as the British Isles, the Iberian Peninsula, and the Balkan region. The Celts were not a civilization unified under a single empire, but rather a group of tribes that shared a similar language, religion, and customs. The rise of the Celtic people occurred between the 5th centuries BC and the 2nd centuries AD. During this time, its influence extended from the British Isles to the Danube basin. It is believed that the Celts were organized into tribes. Although there was no centralized government, some tribes were more powerful and better organized than others. Their skill in war, diplomacy, and trade allowed them to dominate vast territories for several centuries. Celtic society was complex and hierarchical, structured into three main classes: the Druids, the warriors, and the peasants. The Druids were the priests, philosophers, and judges of the Celtic people. These individuals, mostly men, although some women also played this role, had a deep knowledge of nature, religion, and Celtic laws. Additionally, the Druids were responsible for maintaining oral traditions, since writing was not common among the Celts. Celtic warriors were known for their bravery and combat prowess. They used swords, spears, and shields. They were experts in warfare in which they combined squad fighting tactics with the use of horses. Celtic warriors had a very strong code of honor and were considered a symbol of the resistance and pride of Celtic culture. The daily life of the Celtic peasants was marked by agriculture, livestock, and crafts. They lived in small fortified villages, known as forts. They worked the land in search of sustenance. Although most Celts were farmers, they also practiced metallurgy, especially the making of weapons, tools, and ornaments. Celtic religion was deeply connected to nature and the cycle of the seasons. They worshipped multiple gods and goddesses, each associated with different aspects of life, such as fertility, war, the sun, the moon, and death. The Celts believed in a spiritual world very close to the earthly one. Druids were responsible for performing rituals to honor the gods, invoke protection in battle, or ask for good harvests. Celtic symbolism is widely recognized today. Celtic knots, circles, and trees, such as the oak, had sacred meaning for these people. Additionally, Celtic holidays such as Samhain, what we know today as Halloween, celebrated the connection between the world of the living and the dead, symbolizing the end of one cycle and the beginning of another. Despite the fall of the Roman Empire and the dispersion of the Celts throughout Europe, their testimony lives on in many modern cultures. In countries such as Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Brittany, and Spain, Celtic traditions remain an important pillar of cultural identity. Celtic music, with its bagpipes, violins, and flutes, continues to be an artistic expression appreciated in many of these regions. Additionally, Celtic art remains one of the most recognized art forms, especially its intricate knot designs and geometric patterns. The architecture of the forts and fortified hills, although mostly destroyed or deteriorated over time, remains a testament to the ability of this town to adapt to its environment. Today, the revival of interest in Celtic culture has led to a resurgence of festivities and celebrations related to their ancient traditions. St. Patrick's Day, for example, which has its roots in Celtic Ireland, is one of the most celebrated holidays worldwide, with parades, music, and dance that pay tribute to this rich cultural legacy. The Celts not only left a cultural heritage, but also a linguistic one. Celtic languages are still spoken in parts of Europe, especially in the British Isles, where Welsh, Irish, Scots, and Breton continue to be spoken by millions of people. These languages, although not as common as other European languages, remain a reminder of the resistance of Celtic cultures in the face of Roman invasion and cultural assimilation. Additionally, many of the Celtic symbols, such as the shamrock, Celtic knot, and triskelion, remain popular in jewelry, design, and fashion, symbolizing a connection to ancient Celtic traditions and their ancient wisdom. The Celtic legacy is much more than a memory of the past. It is a civilization whose influence is still evident today, both in culture, beliefs, and art. Although the Celts disappeared as a homogeneous people centuries ago, their impact on European history and culture is undeniable. From traditional dances to architecture, music, and languages, Celtic culture remains alive, fascinating and inspiring new generations who continue to discover the richness of this ancient people.
If you want to see other interesting stories, you can follow me on my YouTube channel, Frank Fernandez Historia,